We start with 1 hour chart. We want to see how we can look for trade. Before we start the analysis, just I want to highlight for subscribers who cannot get the notification. We have the Telegram group and Twitter. I share all the links from the YouTube there. And even in Telegram, if I see any important, I can just, I will post there. Anyway, whoever wants to join, they can. And beside that, we have a playlist. If they're looking for, I mean, this is the fastest way to look for update rather than searching the main page. In this case, we start with the 1 hour chart. We want to see how we can look for trades. And as we can see, we have been looking for buy since the price was within this move, and this is the targets. And we want to see what's the next, because if the price couldn't break, and even when the price was within this move, we mentioned we can expect to get a deeper correction, similar to what we have here. This is what we have been looking for. But as we can see, the price reversed, but the way was reversing is really corrective. Based on 1 hour chart, there was no trade setup. The only way if anyone get the trade based on 15 minutes. No one see what's the next and how we can look at the chart based on bigger picture. Anyway, first we want to see how we can look for chart. Then if there is any trade setup, I will highlight there. The first thing is based on daily chart, still we are within this correction. That's why we want to see whether the price can retest this top or not, because we want to see the breakout of this. If not, this one can turn to flat for one more drop. Okay, this is the only things we can discuss based on daily chart. And if we move to forward chart, as we explained right now, from we're looking at this, because if you refer to our analysis, we mentioned there is a possibility this one give us one more drop. Okay, and as we can see, we get the internal flat, but the price couldn't take the previous top. Okay, now if we want to look for buy, we need to get a bigger correction from here, at least to get one more drop before we get the reversal, because we want to see whether if we get one more drop, we want to see whether this is the start of the down move or correction for continuation. That's why if you want to buy, we need to be aware, may this one give us one more drop before we get the next move or a deeper correction. Okay, now how to look for trade. If you move to 1 hour chart, based on 1 hour chart, we don't have any trade setup. If anyone wants to look for buy, as I mentioned, for me the best thing is if I get one more drop with the previous with the retest of this low, because from there, since we had, if we put this one in relative to this, here we have the divergence, but MACD there is no divergence. Maybe we can put this one as a first, we get the correction for the next move. That's why the best things is at least we see one more drop. Then from there, if this is the start of the, we can confirm whether this is the start of the down move or part of this correction. It doesn't mean the price cannot continue from here. It can. Even if you want to look for trade, we can wait for the correction from here. But we need to know that we want to see the breakout of this, and we need to know we should I mean, after the breakout of this top, we have to start to manage. Even if the price break this top, mostly we will have a divergence. That's mean maybe we don't get a really good trade setup. That's why the best things is if we can get one more drop. Then from there we confirm whether this is a flat or not. Then any reversal from there we can look for buy. Buying here is not really good idea, but it can be. I mean, we can put as an option, but again, if we buy here with the breakout of desktop, we have to start to manage, and we see the divergence. And in terms of the risk and reward, doesn't give us any trade. Even if we want to look for buy here, we wait for the correction. How about if the price sharply continue from here? The only way is to have entry above this, which is not a really good idea. It's not a trade setup. We're trying to see how we can look for trade setup. Anyway, we don't have any trade setup. If we want to look for buy, the best option, we wait for one more drop before we take the trade. And the another one, if this one turns to a correction, then from there we see whether we can look for trade or not. If the price continues sharply from here, having entry above here or above desktop, this is the only way we can get the trade, which we are not going to add in this analysis. It's not a trade setup as I highlight, as I mentioned. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.